Healing Reyna, Chapter 2, The Anatomy of a Whisper. So, you found me, here, in the electric, unedited hum of this recording. Welcome to Healing Reyna. This is the confessional, the diary, the midnight phone call you make from the floor of your bathroom. Before we go further, a sacrament of honesty. I am not a priestess, not a doctor, not a guru with a tidy mantra. I am a woman with a history written on her liver and a scream permanently lodged in her throat. This podcast isn't a prescription. It's my hand, slick with panic sweat, reaching through the wires, hoping to brush against another trembling hand in the dark. Its purpose is testament. To whisper, through this shared static, you are not a singular catastrophe. To beg you to seek smarter, brighter help than I can give. And to trace, in real time, the bloody, unglamorous cartography of one woman's attempt to crawl back into her own life. We're not here for epiphany. We're here for the next breath. The kind you take when every cell is begging for the sweet poison of silence. This is Healing Reyna. Let's get ruined, and then let's begin. I'm sitting here, alone, and the aloneness is a physical presence, a lover who sucks the oxygen from the room. The walls aren't just close, they are pulsing, a slow, vegetative heartbeat that syncs with the panic in my own chest. This silence, this is the great lie of recovery. They sell you this pristine, sunlit quiet. But the silence after the noise is the loudest fucking sound in the universe. It's a high-pitched dental drill aimed at the soul. I've been sober for 6 months. 6 meses sin una gota de alcohol. Sin que la química me abrace. 6 months without a chemical embrace. I should be standing on a mountain, hair flowing, a goddess of clean living. Instead, I'm here, in this rented cage, feeling the most profound exhaustion I have ever known. An exhaustion sleep doesn't touch. It's the fatigue of consciousness itself. Y estoy tan sola. The loneliness isn't about an empty room. It's about the alien inhabiting my skin. I was sold a narrative. Walk away from the bottle, the powder, the pill, and the weightlifts. A fairy tale. Some days, the weight is the atmosphere. My hands have a memory of their own. A jittery jazz played on the tabletop. And my mind, that treacherous cinema, projects in perfect, torturous detail. The amber kiss of Jack Daniels in a dusty glass. The ritual of the rolled bill, the promise in a little baggie. I can recall, with pornographic clarity, the exact sensation of the switch. The moment the world's sharp edges dissolved into a benevolent haze, and the relentless drilling pain in my center just clicked off for a blessed blank moment. A word from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Timothy Reyna Insurance. An independent agent now offering auto insurance in Arizona, Timothy uses his expertise to find tailored coverage that fits the life you're trying to build, not the one you're running from. For a quote that might just save you money and time you desperately need, call 602-341-5290. License 6734192. Dios. Como extraño ese apagado. God, I missed that off switch. The temptation isn't a thought. It's a shadow lover who lives in my apartment now. He whispers directly into the shell of my ear, his breath cool. Solo un trago, una colada. Solo para suavizar las bordes. Just to take the edge off. To make it all quiet. And I do. I let the fantasy play. The cool weight of the glass. The sacrificial burn down the throat. The smoke filling my lungs, a private weather system that blots out the sun. Un poco de hierba. Un toque de mera. Just enough to make the hollow, screaming cavity inside me sit down and shut up for a few merciful hours. So I wouldn't feel this. Desesperada. Naufraga. A castaway on the shore of my own life. I know better. My intellect, that scant librarian, knows the sequel by heart. It never lasts. You're chasing the ghost of the first time, a phantom that dissolves upon contact. The high is alone with vicious interest. The numbness recedes, and you're left in the same place, only lower. The walls of the hole slicker, the climb out more impossible. Y no puedo permitirme volver a ese pozo. I can't afford that fall. 6 months. 6 meses limpia. The longest stretch of my adult life. There is pride there, a small, cold coin in my pocket. But Dios, it's hard. Es una batalla jodida todos los días. I just want the pain to stop. I want this existential loneliness to lift. I'm tired of waking each morning with this animate weight on my chest, a damp, black dog of despair sitting on my sternum, making a mockery of every breath. I can't get enough air. I just want to feel normal, to feel integrated, to not feel like I am perpetually drowning on dry land. Necesito ayuda. But the need is a chokehold. Who do you tell when the enemy's headquarters are inside your own skull? Everyone else sees the performance. The clean clothes, the composed smile, the visible absence of a drink or a pipe. They see the negative space and call it a positive. Look at you, they coo, their eyes soft with a pity that feels like vinegar on a wound. You're doing so well. Their words are meant as a blanket, but they land like stones. They see the placid surface of the lake. They have no idea of the monster thrashing in the deep, tearing the hull of my sanity apart, splinter by splinter. Inside? Por dentro estoy en colapso granular. A slow-motion disintegration into fundamental particles. Every one day at a time, mantra is turning to sand and running through my fingers. I am screaming. A raw, silent scream that begins in my womb and shreds my vocal cords on its way up. A soundless tremor of pure terror trapped behind my ribs. A scream in a soundproof room. No one hears it. No one even imagines it. I want to stay sober. Lo juro por lo que queda de mí. I swear on the rubble. I cling to that desire like it's the last handhold on a cliff face. But logic has left the building. In this raw, nerve-exposed state, the only equation that makes sense is the twisted one. The thing that hurt me also comforted me. The agent of my destruction was my only reliable companion. A voice, slick and familiar as old silk, murmurs, "Remember the ritual?" The click of the lighter, that specific burn, the world fading to a pleasant murmur. It didn't fix a thing, mi amor, but it made the unfixable feel peaceful. It was the only thing that ever made you feel okay. Not joy, not passion, just numb okay. And in this torrent of feeling, numb okay sounds like Elysium. It sounds like peace. The key turned, not in the metaphor, in the actual brass lock of my shitty apartment door. It cut through the static in my head. The door opened, and there he was, silhouetted by the gray light of the hallway. Leo. His dark hair was plastered to his forehead from the rain, and he held 2 steaming paper cups of bodega coffee, the kind that tastes of tin and optimism, and a greasy brown paper bag, translucent in spots. He didn't ask. His eyes, the color of wet slate, scanned my face, my posture, the invisible storm. He saw the ocean drowning me from within. He saw my white-knuckled grip on the ledge. Wordlessly, he stepped into my fragile, clean space, a man bringing the outside world's damp chaos on his jacket. He didn't approach me. He just sank down to sit on the floor, his back against my bed, as if claiming a patch of beach in my hurricane. "The empanadas are chicken," he said, his voice a low, gravelly anchor dropped into my churning sea. "And I got the hot sauce you like, the one that makes you cry for real reasons." He didn't hand me the coffee. He placed it on the floor between us, a offering, a peace treaty. He didn't give me a pep talk. He didn't tell me to hold on. He simply occupied the space beside my personal rope, his own hands coming to rest loosely around its fibers, sharing the unbearable tensile weight. The shadow lover at the door stopped whispering. The ghost retreated, momentarily baffled by this mundane, greasy human intrusion. The recipe for my own destruction, etched so vividly in my senses, began to blur. It was overwritten, pixel by pixel, by the scent of rain on cheap cotton, of fried cumin and masa, of steam rising from a bad cup of coffee. It was replaced by the solid, silent fact of his presence, a shared, unspoken vigil in the quiet, storm-tossed heart of the war. This was not a rescue. It was an arrival, and sometimes that is the only romance you can bear. Someone who enters the ruin, sits down in the dust beside you, and doesn't flinch at the devastation. The paperback journey of Healing Reyna is now available for dog-earing and tear stains on Amazon. And if this tremor of truth found an echo in your bones, let it be recorded. Press the like button. Make a mark in the digital void. Furthermore, if you believe this raw testimony, this amplified heartbeat, serves the common good of our wounded kind, then you are invited, not requested, invited to subscribe. This is my truth. This is the fight. This is the whisper before the dawn, or the relapse. We are here, together, in the fragile space between.